If you have been suffering from ear ringing, nonstop whooshing, or inexplicable buzzing, making your life a living hell, please listen closely, as it might make the difference between life and death. Until recently, no one even dared to imagine that treating tinnitus could be as easy as switching off a light bulb. Suddenly, all that's changed, as undeniable new evidence shows how a simple technique recently discovered by scientists at leading medical universities such as the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis and University of San Francisco could make it possible for you to hit the mute button on that aggravating ringing on your ears, pull the plug on tinnitus, even while you sleep. Now perhaps you're thinking, wait, there's nothing we can do about tinnitus. But is that really true? As it turns out, a dedicated group of US sound technology experts, together with a team of international ear specialists from Germany and Japan, is challenging conventional wisdom and has already brought hope to a staggering number of sufferers. But the most shocking part is how they do it. They're not relying on chemical-laden medications. They're not using expensive hearing aids, chronic ear flushing, or dangerous ear surgery. Instead, they're using a recently discovered hearing nutrient dubbed the tinnitus wonder, which can actually retrain your brain to cut off the ringing, roaring, and whooshing in your ears, and begin to soothe and offer relief in just a few minutes after you try it. This was proven beyond any doubt in a stunning, double-blind placebo trial conducted by the Japanese researchers on 28 otherwise healthy tinnitus sufferers. Sooner than anybody ever thought possible, after taking this unusual nutrient, all the participants saw fantastic results like improved working memory, better hearing, sharper focus, increased attention. Everything skyrocketed while the sound that tormented their ears was basically shut off completely. Did anything else you take to fight tinnitus deliver results even remotely close to these? I highly doubt it. And that's just for starters. Over 1,645 studies have been conducted on this highly effective tinnitus ingredient. That includes groundbreaking research from Oxford and Stanford University. And they all agree on one thing. This is truly an ear health miracle unlike any other. And once you'll get all the details, you'll wish to start using it immediately. Just imagine. No more stuffing your head in the pillows at night to escape the sounds roaring in your ears, or dosing up on nighttime sleep meds just to get a short reprieve. Forget the headaches, dizziness, and pure frustration at being trapped in your own head, too. Sounds incredible, I know, but as you'll soon see with this brief presentation, you could finally be able to relax and enjoy your life as a normal person again. And more importantly, avoid going through the nightmare of any dangerous major ear surgery. Best of all, this revolutionary technique is fit for anyone, no matter how bad they suffer from tinnitus or how old they are. Now, if you've suffered from tinnitus for any length of time, I'm sure you're curious to find out all the details on this simple solution and take control of what you hear and when. So let's not waste any time. I want you to know who I am and how you can put this secret to work for you starting today in order to finally achieve the blessed peace of silence inside your head, even if you can't remember how good it actually feels. So as you know, my name's Gerard Watson. I'm 55 years old and live near Denver, Colorado. 2 years ago, doctors cut my ear off my head to fix tinnitus. The chief surgeon said the horrible hissing sounds in my ears were the result of broken ear bones. But after he cut into my head, he discovered nothing. Nothing at all was physically wrong with my ears. And I woke up feeling like he drilled through my skull with an ice pick. My ear was fire hot and swollen off my head, stitched back on like Frankenstein. All for nothing. The ringing in my ears not only remained there, it got way more wicked after that. And even worse, he'd accidentally cut a facial nerve, so my tongue lost all taste and felt like someone burned it with acid. As you can imagine, this experience was horribly eye-opening. Not to mention expensive. I'll tell you more about it in just a couple of seconds. But before I do, it's best if you know how I got to the point of having my head cut open to begin with. You see, ever since I was a kid, I had bad ear infections that kept my doctors dosing me with the antibiotics. I had tubes in my ears, poor hearing, and learned to read lips pretty early on. I wasn't deaf by any means, but ear problems became the norm in my life from a young age, even though nobody else in my family suffered from it. Despite all this, I decided to go against all the odds and follow my lifelong passion, which was music. So I became a sound and recording technician for a country music company. I really enjoyed spending long hours in the studio, as listening to the hits of our generation's greatest artists brought peace not only to my ears, but to my soul. So, given the history of my poor ears' health, when they started ringing one day out of the blue, I wasn't too alarmed. I mean, the older you get, the worse your hearing becomes, right? The ringing and whooshing in my head just became something I accepted and tried to live with. Up until 2 years ago, when all of a sudden a drill siren struck through my skull. I was in a meeting with fellow music executives, and all of a sudden, it was like someone banged both sides of my head like a set of drums. All I could hear was a high-pitched tone that drowned everything else out, like that loud alarm tone on the emergency broadcast system when it takes over your TV. Covered my ears and looked around at everyone else, but nobody was experiencing this weird pain. They were all staring at me like I was crazy. I left work early, hoping it was just a fluke and would go away, but it didn't. Dinging stayed with me even into the night, where it proceeded to keep me from sleeping a wink. The next day, it was still there, only now there was a sensation of blood pumping through my ears too. Concerned, I called around and asked a few colleagues for the best ear specialist out there. After all, I was in the music industry, which is notorious for causing hearing loss. Luckily, I was able to get an appointment right away, and the doctor, who was a top-notch surgeon who came highly recommended, immediately sent me to get an MRI scan on my head. A few days later, as he reviewed the results with me, the doctor said he still wasn't sure what was wrong with me. "You do have unusually small ear canals, which accounts for your infections growing up," he said. "And I do see a blockage in your right ear, which could be a broken bone, and that might make the tinnitus worse." "Okay," I said, "so what now?" My doctor said surgery was probably the safest bet and had my operation scheduled for the next week. It all happened so fast, and all the time, I was glad I'd be able to have the procedure done so quickly. Looking back, however, I wish I'd known then what I know now. The surgeons had to slice the back of my ear and lay it wide open in order to fix what they thought was wrong. Worse still was the news my doctor gave me when I finally got done throwing up from the anesthesia. "Well, we did open your ear canal a bit, but the bones were intact," he said. "Hopefully, it still helps the severe tinnitus, but we can't be sure." My ears were still ringing. A hot pulse surged through my eardrums. I felt utterly deflated. "One more thing," he said. "I'm deeply sorry to let you know this, but we had to cut through a taste nerve in your jaw. Your mouth might tingle or burn for a little while and have a funny metal taste, but it will go away. Happens quite often." So that was why my mouth felt halfway numb, halfway on fire. I thought it was the vomiting. If this all sounds horribly disgusting, that's because it was. Now, I had tinnitus and a severed taste nerve, and I felt like I would be stuck with it all forever. I was distracted all day at work, trying to concentrate, but getting thrown off by the constant nagging in my eardrums. They finally told me to take a leave of absence because I couldn't hear over the swishing sounds in my head, making me completely unable to perform my duties. Now, Not only was I anxiety-ridden and feeling trapped inside my jail of a head, but I was getting majorly depressed too. Which meant that no matter how I did it, I needed to escape this life sentence of having the nails dragged down the chalkboard in my head, disturbing every part of my life. And so, from that moment on, every single moment was spent researching medical publications, studies, scientific journals and periodicals, even alternative methods of treating tinnitus. You have a lot of medical experts saying tinnitus is almost impossible to treat with any method because there isn't one root cause for it. They suspect loud noises or injuries to the ears could lead to tinnitus, yet some people suffer from it without ever being exposed to damage. Which makes sense because even though my doctors told me I got it after years of listening to music way too loudly, I still knew a lot of people who suffered from tinnitus their whole lives without being exposed to anything harmful to their hearing. Even though they may not know exactly what makes people get tinnitus, scientists do know what it does inside your head. Tinnitus roots itself deep in the brain and causes a complex interplay of brain signals to go wrong. It begins with damage to tiny vibrating receptors called hair cells in the inner ear. This was recently proven beyond any doubt by a bombshell study coming from the Georgetown University Medical Center. But regardless of why you get tinnitus or what it does inside your brain, people are still desperate for any possible remedy that gets rid of it. Like using hearing aids to mask the sounds inside your head. Expensive and annoying to wear in your ears. Antidepressant medications and sleep drugs to calm the panic attacks and anxiety kicked up by tinnitus, which don't get to the root of the problem, just zone you out. Fake chemical remedies, acupuncture, meditation are also used. Fine for overall calming effect, but they cost a lot of money and are not that effective. And then there's surgery, which I personally know doesn't work, let alone the physical and financial pain. As you can tell, the research was unnerving, and I can't tell you how many times I almost gave up. Well, there must be a higher power out there because barely a couple of weeks later, I finally found the one thing that changed everything that would end up giving me my peace of mind back. I'd searched the internet, read piles of books at the medical library, made a ton of inquiries with doctors and specialists. When I came across two obscure studies that had me doing mental backflips. Both of them came from an expensive site that published medical journals for sound therapists and research scientists. But the price meant nothing if I could find the vital information I was after. The first study came from the Washington University School of Medicine in St. Louis and showed tinnitus patients participating in computer-based training reported incredible improvements. Specifically, the study groups listened to a series of sound recordings focused on improving the processing of sound, speech, and memory. That sounded too good to be true, and it really got my attention. Help your tinnitus by doing the one thing you never thought you'd normally do ever again? Listening. And the second study came from the University of San Francisco, where scientists had attempted to use sound therapy to fix tinnitus. Basically, the USF scientists were using a customized acoustic stimulus delivery system called a neuromonics device, which was introduced as a means of promoting neural flexibility within the hearing system in hopes of abolishing tinnitus-related ailments. In plain English, what all this means is that the researchers were playing a pattern of audio stimuli, that is, sounds that had been scientifically designed to retrain your brain to get it working properly. Well, after reading about these successes with sound therapy techniques, I was completely intrigued. I mean, this was my professional background. I spent my life burning new sounds onto CDs. Perhaps I could do the same inside the human brain. I began making calls to the smartest sound technologists in the industry. Maybe someone else knew about this too. Well, not long after, I'd left messages for every single composer, sound tech, music executive, and studio producer I knew. I had my breakthrough. One of the major symphony composers of all time returned my call. He told me that he too had suffered from hearing loss and tinnitus for years, but he managed to alleviate the symptoms by simply listening to a certain mix of altered music and audio tones. He said he knew all about neuromonics, which required a special listening device and cost $5,000 for treatment. But it's unnecessary because with the state-of-the-art equipment at the studio, I created the same sounds at a fraction of the cost, he added. This guy was the best in the business who'd suffered from a case of tinnitus almost as bad as mine before using his own version of neuromonics. And it made sense because top composers like him are doctors of sound. They're mathematical geniuses and brilliant at knowing exactly how music and tone works inside the human brain. So, I was definitely sold. And even better, he was willing to reproduce copies of his recordings for me. Now, after all my failed attempts to get rid of the constant horrible ringing, a real starting solution was within reach. Something which could help so many other people out there suffering from the mildest form of tinnitus to the most severe cases. You can't imagine how relieved I was and how anxious to get it working. This was what I'd been searching for. And when a huge box of hard drives arrived, filled with the highest quality sound therapy recordings, I stayed up all night sorting through them. And in the end, I combined two most effective ways that could make your brain cut off tinnitus and retrain itself naturally. First, a version of neuromonics that used music with soundtracks adjusted to scientific algorithms that could provide a relief from tinnitus. There was also a neural stimulus added to these recordings to further aid the relaxation response, a portion of which is purely used while you sleep. Second, I use sound therapy recordings based on cognitive behavioral instruction. Put simply, these are brief listening exercises focused on auditory speed, sound, and memory designed to improve brain functioning. Once I had the two-step sound therapy technique sorted out, I grabbed my headphones to be sure all of the recordings played back perfectly. I put the final touches on the sound techniques and dedicated the next 30 days to testing the whole thing out. And I must admit, nothing could have prepared me for what happened next. Even after my first hearing sessions, I noticed that my tinnitus was way less intense. The more I listened, the more I felt how my ears began to clear up, and the horrible ringing began to subside. All in all, by using the anti-tinnitus sound technique, on a scale of 1 to 10, my symptoms dialed down to 3. I was not 100% treated, but it was way better than anything else I have tried before. This was the best news ever. I'd used my sound technology background and trusted professionals in the music field to find a solution. Not a perfect one, but something that I knew I can make even better, so that everyone would finally be 100% tinnitus-free. So, I returned to work with more mental clarity and focus than ever. You see, even though I knew for a fact that listening to the special recordings will definitely help silence that dreadful ringing in the ears. Indeed, the revolutionary sound therapy helped reduce my tinnitus symptoms by more than 70%, which was absolutely incredible. But I knew I was still far from winning the battle 100%. I mean, if you had tinnitus for more than 6 months of 1 year, there was still a lot of brain and hair cells damage that was left untreated, as you would imagine. This was easily noticeable as well on my MRI scan results, which clearly showed the internal injuries caused by tinnitus. If I were to create 100% working tinnitus treatment, I definitely could not neglect undoing the brain damage. Otherwise, just using the sound therapy would be like a band-aid, fixing the problems only in the short term and not actually addressing the root cause of the problem. So now I was left facing a crucial question. How could I undo all the brain damage caused by tinnitus? You see, it was clearly obvious that fully treating the brain damage caused by tinnitus required more than just sounds. And since tinnitus affected the brain on a cellular level, I reckon the only way to undo 100% of the brain damage had to be done at a cellular level as well. Therefore, from the inside of the brain, with specific nutrients and brain healing ingredients. Figuring this out all by myself was truly impossible. So here's what I did. I created an online tinnitus sufferers group, which quickly grew to at least a couple of thousand people in a matter of weeks. Obviously, I shared with them the sound therapy program, and the feedback I got was unbelievable, with almost all of those who had it reporting that their tinnitus symptoms reduced by over 60%. They also mentioned a significant improvement in their hearing as well, which was an added bonus I hadn't foreseen. We knew we were on the right track, and these fantastic results encouraged us even more to find a 100% bulletproof treatment against the brain damage caused by tinnitus. The group was like our little family, where everyone was encouraged to share their experiences and what natural solutions and recipes seemed to work best in this long fight against tinnitus. You see, I thought if we combined all our powers, we would definitely find a working treatment for this. Something we would all know that would work. Something tried and tested by us, the tinnitus sufferers, not by a faceless, money-grubbing pharmaceutical company. And I must admit, I'm a big believer in God, and I'm absolutely convinced there is a higher power out there, because barely 3 weeks later, I finally found the one thing that changed everything. As one German hearing specialist from our online group pointed me to a recent, little-known study from the German Research Foundation. You see, according to this bombshell study, there was a neuron-soothing natural component that quiets the roaring brain cells in your head called diosgenin, which can be naturally extracted from yam or fenugreek, among other plants. I was really intrigued because many of our group's members were constantly talking about how yam and fenugreek seemed to lessen the symptoms of tinnitus and quiet down the ringing. Could diosgenin be the tinnitus wonder ingredient we were all desperately searching for? Well, I must admit, I've never heard of diosgenin before. But when I began to further investigate this, I found out that this substance was also being used with extraordinary success in Japan as well. You see, the Japanese researchers took 28 otherwise healthy tinnitus volunteers from the Toyama Prefecture in Japan, and they randomly assigned who will receive either a yam extract or placebo. After 12 weeks on the diosgenin treatment, the volunteers were given 12 individual standard cognitive subtests. The results awed the researchers. Diosgenin-rich yam extract use significantly improved their brain performance while shifting the attention of the overactive brain cells to other areas of the brain. Memory, cognition, hearing, attention, relaxation. Everything skyrocketed while the sound that tormented their ears was basically shut off. This was absolutely incredible, but that wasn't all, because after analyzing all the plants, herbs, minerals, and other natural remedies pouring in from the almost 12,000 tinnitus sufferers in the online group, a number of them stood up, which everyone claimed worked wonders when things got really bad with their tinnitus. I then knew for a fact that the anti-tinnitus sound therapy, combined with the right mix of all these natural ingredients, would be the ultimate weapon against tinnitus. After all, they were proven to work, not just by one person, but by thousands of folks of all ages for all across the world. So, we had the sound therapy protocol, which alone reduced the tinnitus symptoms by up to 70% or more in some cases. The next step now is to gather, mix, and combine all of the proven, natural tinnitus-clearing ingredients into one simple and effective formula, which of course we soon did with the help of the many scientists and researchers from our big-hearted tinnitus fighters community. By now, I'm sure that you're curious to find out what this natural anti-tinnitus mix is and why does it work so incredibly well. Please pay careful attention now, because the following information comes from our 14-month-long private medical research to which the general public has no access. Here's a short, step-by-step explanation of each one of the anti-tinnitus brain-repairing ingredients used and how they work. After intensive lab testing, they have proven to be 100% effective only in this formula, specifically calculated and adjusted to give the best possible results against tinnitus and brain disorders. Step 1. Your hearing begins to clear as the brain networks in your inner ear hair cells are getting repaired, cooling down the nervous system. So, your tinnitus is driving you crazy and you can't stand it for another moment. Both German and Japanese scientists have chosen yam and fenugreek as the first aid duo that may actually lower the sound from the very first days, thanks to their high levels of diosgenin. This happens because this emergency team quickly repairs the buzzing brain networks. Also, the yam cools down the entire nervous system, while fenugreek prevents panic attacks. There are over 600 species of yam, but during our research we found that Mexican wild yam has the most effective type of diosgenin. Step 2. You regain your quiet mind while your brain networks are strengthening and becoming indestructible. Dong Quai, a super herb not many know about, may take a little longer to kick in, but it's the one ingredient that definitely puts a run to tinnitus while helping your brain networks to become stronger than steel. Not only that, but as shown during multiple lab tests, Dong Quai also acts like a merciless double guardian, a guardian of the brain protecting it against potentially fatal problems, and a guardian of the ears protecting them against infections. Saw palmetto, on the other hand, balances your hormone levels, thus preventing irreversible cells damage while also decreasing brain and inner ear inflammation. Step 3. You feel your memory is stronger than ever while your damaged brain cells are quickly being repaired. L-tyrosine, an essential amino acid found in certain types of cheese, is vital for your brain as it produces important brain chemicals that help nerve cells communicate better and may even regulate mood. Now, because your brain networks were broken by tinnitus, your brain cells didn't connect properly, which resulted in multiple damages, dramatically increasing a risk in loss of memory. But the right dosage of high-quality L-tyrosine does the impossible by repairing years of brain deterioration. As researchers discovered, after using the L-tyrosine treatment, patients with severe cases of memory loss began regaining their memories and showed significant improvements in their thinking and behavior. Adding fennel, which is packed with important nutrients such as vitamin C, calcium, magnesium, and potassium, will power up your memory and fight off dementia. This is also the phase when you say goodbye to fatigue, sleepless nights, dizziness, and brain fog. Step 4. You feel your brain is supercharged while cell regeneration starts. This is when your mind begins to get superpowers. Motherwort, black cohosh, and oatgrass are like steroids for the brain. As you age, your brain gets smaller. But not with these 3 ingredients, as they grow your brain, fire up connections, and help cell rejuvenation. The tinnitus brain can become more than 10 years younger, and you'll think faster, better, clearer. Step 5. Not worrying about tinnitus and brain disorders anymore because your brain is being trained for perfect health. Finally, this one-of-a-kind formula protects the brain against tinnitus, memory loss, or other debilitating conditions by combining high-quality Pacific kelp, blessed thistle, and hops extract. While the Pacific kelp and blessed thistle are full of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory, thus cleaning your brain of toxins, the hops extract helps to multiply the neural connections, improving your brain functions and mood, relieving stress, anxiety, and depression. The old age rule, where your mind and memory start to decline, will be so far from you from this point forward. There you have it, the ultimate tinnitus Terminator weapon, designed specifically to complement the anti-tinnitus sound therapy and to quiet the roaring brain cells, while completely undoing the brain damage caused by tinnitus at a cellular level. All we had to do now was to make it available for everybody. We had dozens of doctors to provide the medical knowledge and a state-of-the-art lab all to ourselves. The most difficult part was to gather all the ingredients. You see, the market is full of counterfeit, cheap knockoffs of so-called natural homeopathic ingredients. We know this because after we've carefully tested 97% of the available natural Mexican wild yam extracts, blessed thistle, or black cohosh leaves, we found out they were bogus and derived from chemicals and not from natural sources. So we searched the whole world through our scientific connections and contacted only certified producers and verified suppliers, making sure that for our recipe we used only top quality ingredients with 100% tinnitus healing properties. My hands were shaking as I was finally holding the pills that would undo the tinnitus brain damage and bring my life and dignity back. If this tiny natural pill, combined with the sound therapy, was the effective treatment for tinnitus, it would be a miracle, especially because it was so simple. Anyone could take it regardless of their severity of suffering. It didn't require any costly doctor appointments or trying any other therapies. And it also offered protections from the most frightening brain disorders like amnesia or memory loss. Of course, I was the very first one who tried it. I was still using the anti-tinnitus sound therapy, and after the first pill, I didn't feel a thing. Well, maybe hope, which was still something I thought that I'd lost forever. But soon after, everything completely changed. I was absolutely shocked to see that now my brain was completely rejuvenated and looked perfectly normal, as if I never had tinnitus. And not only were the results actually visible, but I was also feeling the change in every aspect of my life. Ringing in the morning? Completely gone. Unbearable buzzing and hissing in the afternoon? Not at all. Tormenting swooshing sounds in the evening? Absolutely zero. I was now 100% tinnitus free. Moreover, my depression was quickly lifting as well. And even more amazingly, my dreadful headaches went away, and I was now sleeping through the night without any problems. My mind was sharp. I could focus easily, and my memory was crystal clear. And it wasn't just me. Everyone from our tinnitus community experienced similar results. And not a single person reported getting the high-pitched or low-pitched ringing in their ears anymore, or hearing their heartbeat all day. Judging by my own miraculous results, I had anticipated most of these successes. But when I heard that one of the participants in our study had his early memory loss problems treated, I knew I had a mission. I couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to myself, so we decided to make it available for everybody who's tormented by tinnitus. This is how the Neuro Calm protocol was born. A revolutionary, unique solution designed to terminate tinnitus once and for all. First, the sound therapy techniques inside this program will unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by listening simply and with no effort on your part. And you could start listening to these in the next 3 minutes and begin to soothe your nerves and ears. It may sound too easy, but trust me, there are thousands of hours in research put into this anti-tinnitus sound therapy, so that you can enjoy hearing the sound of silence once again after all your long suffering. Of course, this is just the beginning of your wonderful transformation, because the complete, everlasting, and deep tinnitus healing results are brought by the Neuro Calm Pro supplement, which is absolutely crucial if you want to accomplish 3 important things. 1. Completely clear your ringing, pitching, or whooshing. 2. Repair the horrible damage done to your brain networks. And last but not least, finally calm down your nervous system and bulletproof your brain from crippling disorders such as brain fog, depression, or even memory loss. Remember, tinnitus is, in fact, the sound of your brain cells getting damaged. Fortunately, all this can be now finally undone and healed thanks to Neuro Calm Pro. You could call this the ultimate weapon against tinnitus. After all, every single ingredient inside was proven to work, not just by one person, but by thousands of tinnitus sufferers of all ages from across the world. Moreover, it was fully backed by science as well, as both German and Japanese researchers showed without a doubt that diosgenin can effectively shut off ear ringing and improve brain performance, memory, attention, and even hearing. Now that you know the entire story, you're probably asking two questions. How can I get my hands on this amazing program? How should I use this protocol to get the fastest results and get my silence back? Well, to answer question one is a little bit tricky. Even though getting the sound therapy program is pretty easy, actually, you can even start using it in the next 3 minutes. When it comes to the wonder supplement Neuro Calm Pro, things change a bit. You see, the truth is that getting the right ingredients to make this powerful anti-tinnitus remedy is difficult. As I said, 97% of the natural ingredients on the market are either fake or filled with pesticides. Also, the people who have already tested our product and regained their long-lost silence keep asking us for more bottles for themselves, for their families and friends. Or just to stock up in case we won't be able to provide any more, and to make sure that they will have the power to fight tinnitus for the rest of their lives. Plus, there are folks who don't have tinnitus, but just take the supplement to rejuvenate their brain. Emptying our stocks in just a matter of days. Moreover, Neuro Calm Pro is carefully produced only in small batches that take up to 3 months to deliver. This process is essential to assure that the quality of the product is 100% effective. And don't forget about Big Pharma, who are already hunting us like mad for ruining their profits that come from innocent people who are desperate to get a minute of relief. But since you're stuck with me until the very end of my story, in the next few minutes, you'll find out how to get your hands on a brand new bottle of supplements as part of our awareness program. As for how you should use this protocol to get the fastest results and get my silence back, the answer is easy. All you have to do is start listening to the audio for 15 minutes a day in order to get relief as soon as possible. Start clearing your tinnitus and prepare your brain for the natural supplement. Then take Neuro Calm Pro twice a day to end the ringing in your ears completely and once and for all, while also clearing damage and bulletproof against tinnitus and other brain or dangerous memory disorders for years to come. It could not be any simpler. There's no doubt that if you follow the Neuro Calm protocol, your mind will begin. Then it's up to you how far you want to go. Maybe you want to significantly decrease your risk of memory disorders and feel how your brain is being supercharged and regenerated, in which case it could take at least 75 days to treat the deterioration caused by the damaged brain networks, which means 3 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro. Or, and this is a popular choice among the people who contact us, you want the best chances against memory loss or other brain disorders while treating tinnitus. In which case, 6 months and 6 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro are all you need. We cannot estimate exactly how damaged your brain networks are at this point. This depends on many factors, such as how old your tinnitus is, your medical history, your overall state of health, and lifestyle choices, etc. So, as a rule of thumb, after seeing the positive results of more than 47,000 people suffering chronic tinnitus, we recommend to take, at the very least, 3 bottles, 6 bottles or more to be completely safe, for a period of 90 days. This should be enough to completely regenerate your brain, supercharge and protect it against tinnitus and memory disorders. It's a fact, since many people have confirmed the results with such dramatic success. Like Jeremy Seaton, 45, Pennsylvania, who wrote to us to say, "I've always said I'd cut off at least 3 of my fingers for a magic pill that banishes tinnitus, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Actually, seeing this sound therapy and pill exist, it feels like a miracle. My head is quieter than ever, and I can't even remember a time my whole body felt this calm. My mind is clear, the brain fog is gone. It's like I suddenly got this special brain power, and I've just begun taking the pills. I'm sharing this with everyone. I know it's the least I can do." Or Sarah M., 58, Kentucky, who says, "I didn't believe for a second in what you were saying, Gerard. Just 15 minutes daily of sound therapy and 2 pills a day, and to end years of chronic tinnitus and keep your brain safe from memory disorders? Please, go bark up another tree." It was my daughter who insisted I give this a try, and we argued a lot. Well, I guess it's true that they say children are smarter than their parents. I had ringing in my left ear and a pulsing sensation in my right ear all the time before I started this incredible protocol. All gone now. I still can't believe it. It's like a curse has been lifted. I feel blessed and alive. Thank you, and God bless. Or Valerie T., 60, Detroit, who recently sent us this. "I was stuck with hearing aids to stifle the sounds. I could barely go through life each day. But after a couple of weeks of this therapy, I threw them away. My husband can't believe I understand everything he says and can even answer questions from another room. My headaches are gone, and even though I always forgot where I put my keys, I don't anymore. I also remember birthdays. Used to fear memory loss, not anymore. I'm happy my husband began to take these pills too. He doesn't have tinnitus. He takes them for his brain. Everybody should. I'm never giving them up, and I highly recommend this to anyone out there. As you can see, people are getting their lives and peace of mind back as we speak, using a completely natural and side effect-free revolutionary protocol. And all it takes to quiet your mind is 15 minutes of your time and 2 pills a day. So, knowing all of this, it's obvious why the Neuro Calm protocol dominates any other option to successfully treat tinnitus. Nothing else out there proved to work. You could go to a doctor who will torture you with tons of useless tests or quickly prescribe you expensive medicine that causes dizziness, stomach problems, and fatigue. Medicine unproven to stop tinnitus because it's not a bacterial infection or virus, but a disease of the networks that connects the brain. Or maybe he'll talk you into an expensive hearing aid to cover up the constant sound waves exploding in your head, annoying and embarrassing to wear, and good luck getting your insurance to cover the cost. Next, your doctor might try prescribing depression meds and sleeping pills to deafen the depression and anxiety caused by tinnitus, but those methods can't get to the root of the problem. They're just addictive chemicals that turn you into a zombie and prevent you from feeling and experiencing life to its fullest. There are alternative remedies like fake herbal extracts and acupuncture, even meditation to calm down the extreme stress tinnitus causes, which maybe doesn't hurt, but surely is not strong enough to be that treat-all you're wishing for. And then there's sound therapy that is barely worth mentioning. All of these are a waste of time, energy, and money, and you know it. They won't get you well in a million years. Unlike the Neuro Calm protocol that can get the job done in just a couple of weeks while keeping you safe from future brain disorders. You can understand why initially I wanted to set the value for 1 bottle of Neuro Calm Pro and the entire Neuro Calm protocol at $99. And if you see this from my point of view, I'm sure you can understand why. I mean, once you go through the program, the sound therapy recordings, 30-day kickstart kit, personalized progress charts, tinnitus FAQ lists, you could rebalance your brain to handle sounds correctly. shut down the ringing, roaring, whooshing, and blood pumping, stop the headaches and sleepless nights. And if you pair this up with the unique Neuro Calm Pro supplement, you could rapidly restore mental health as your mind quiets down and adjusts to the real world of sound going on around you. Which, trust me, is beautiful, not painful or irritating like it seems now. Also, all the ingredients inside Neuro Calm Pro are natural, some of them quite rare and hard to obtain. Plus, this special formula is designed for the root cause of tinnitus, which is a life-threatening disease of your brain networks, one that could eventually lead you to severe memory loss and even dementia. Also, add on the costs of seeing a specialist in your area, including the diagnoses he'll make you pay for and the drugs he is going to prescribe to you. Well, given all of this, $99 should seem like a total steal. But like I mentioned already, the Neuro Calm protocol is not about us making a profit. Sure, it would be nice to get paid for our work and efforts, but if we wanted money, we could accept Big Pharma's proposal right now, close this page, and get ourselves a bank account 10 times fatter than a jackpot winner's. But we don't want their filthy money. All we want is to help you and people like you get truly better. That's what my story and mission meant from the start. I wish this miraculous sound therapy and miraculous pills protocol existed before the doctors cut my ear off, had to fix my tinnitus, traumatizing me for life. But this past can't be changed. And what matters now is that after receiving emails from people who can't afford the Neuro Calm protocol, we knew we had to find a way so everyone could afford it. Which is why there's no chance I could consider charging you $99 for this. And because you're watching this presentation, you will benefit from a discount for the Neuro Calm protocol from our awareness campaign. If you act today through this website and make the life-changing decision of investing in this extraordinary anti-tinnitus weapon, you can get the only effective treatment that allowed thousands of people to finally hit the mute button on tinnitus for only $69. But you know what? I'm going to make the deal even sweeter because I know how hard it is to live paralyzed by that hellish sound day after day, night after night. I want people to have what I now have, and I want to get this program out to as many people as possible in order to accomplish that. So I'm not bothering with profits. That's why I've set up a discounted package system of 6 bottles of Neuro Calm Pro and the Sound Therapy Protocol for you for only $49, for a total of $294, which is being offered today only for as long as supplies last. You also get free shipping on us. But because this unique protocol works best only together with Neuro Calm Pro, once we run out of bottles, the buy now buttons will not be active anymore until we make another batch again, which takes around 2 to 3 months at least. Click the 6-bottle package or any other package that you want below to secure your order. Consider this the smallest but most powerful investment that you have ever made for yourself. Now, before you make your choice, please consider this. All of the tinnitus experts and independent doctors we've contacted recommend taking at the very least 3 of Neuro Calm Pro. Or, if you want even faster, better, and long-lasting results against tinnitus, you should definitely go for the highly discounted 6 bottles package, which is exactly what 90% of our ex-tinnitus sufferers did. If you really want to put an end to even the slightest ringing or buzzing in your ears and want to be 100% sure that tinnitus will be gone for good, not just for a couple of months or a couple of years, but for at least 20 or even 30 years, if improving your memory, your hearing, and protecting your brain against any dangerous disorders is something that sounds good to you, you should definitely go for the 6-bottle package if it's still available today. since right now there's absolutely no other working alternative against tinnitus. And the hospitals are now flooded with people who report that their ringing is actually getting louder and louder. The demand for more bottles of Neuro Calm has skyrocketed. There's only so much we can provide, especially since the powerful anti-tinnitus ingredient, diosgenin, is very difficult to source. So, as a rule of thumb, after seeing the positive results of more than 47,000 people suffering from chronic tinnitus, we recommend to take at the very least 3 bottles or more. Or if you're lucky enough and we didn't run out of bottles yet, take advantage of the heavily discounted 6 bottles package, as this is by far the best health investment you can do today for yourself. This should make your brain immune, not only to tinnitus, but to memory loss, amnesia, and dementia. Just imagine being independent and free from old age problems. You could turn 102 years old and your mind would still be as sharp as a tack. You may be saying, okay, this sounds amazing and I'm interested. How do I get started? Click the yellow button below after choosing the best package for you, and you'll end up on our secure checkout page. Enter your payment details, place the order, and in 7 days from this moment, you'll get Neuro Calm Pro delivered to your home. Also, you'll gain immediate access to the entire Neuro Calm sound therapy protocol, the 30-day Kickstart program, the listening session charts, and the sound therapy sessions, which can be accessed right away from your computer, iPad, or smartphone. You can print, download, and listen to anything you want whenever you like. But click now, it's the only way to secure your package while supplies last. You have absolutely nothing to risk because you are also covered by our 60 days, 100% healthy or money-back guarantee. You can access the program immediately and kickstart your journey towards a normal life after just one listening session. You can trust in what the sound technologists and scientific researchers have discovered, that your brain can swiftly be retrained to operate its inner sound system normally again. That this sound therapy program is the only internal dial that turns tinnitus all the way down. And if you pair this with the groundbreaking Neuro Calm Pro, you can see for yourself how your ringing becomes less and less intense until it eventually vanishes. How your anxiety and panic attacks fade away, and how you are finally surrounded by silence again. Just like our more than 47,000 satisfied customers found out. If you're unsatisfied for any reason, it's rare, but just in case, send us an email in the members area and you'll get a prompt refund, no questions asked. We'll still be friends. You have nothing to risk at all. Like I said, this is 100% risk-free investment. So click one of the buttons below to get started on your journey of becoming tinnitus free. But please, know you really do have to act now. We are offering the Neuro Calm protocol for just $69, and even cheaper if you are getting our more popular packages, just to get this amazing program into more hands. But we are planning on raising the price back to $99 or possibly much higher in the future. Because here's the weird thing. When I tell people that you can easily fight tinnitus and from brain disorders in practically no time and for less than a visit to a specialist, well, most people think it's unbelievable, as if there's something fishy going on. It just sounds too cheap, especially if you have been struggling to cure it with your doctor's prescriptions or with who knows what other method. Our mission is to spread the Neuro Calm protocol to as many people as humanly possible. And the big dream is for tinnitus and brain disorders to be a thing of the past. But if people find it hard to believe that you can get such incredible results for less than the cost of a visit to a specialist or a meal with your family at a restaurant, then we'll have to raise the price. Not to mention, we don't know how much longer we'll be able to hide from Big Pharma's threats. But if this website is still up, it means you can still get Neuro Calm Protocol if you act now. Click to make your choice below, enter your payment details, and place the order now. Neuro Calm Pro will arrive at your doorstep in a matter of days. Also, you'll gain immediate access to the entire Neuro Calm Protocol, the 30-day Kickstart program, the listening sessions, charts, and the sound therapy sessions, which can be accessed right away from your computer, iPad, or smartphone. You can print, download, and listen to anything you want whenever you like. Listen, when you think about it, you only really have two choices ahead of you right now. Option 1, stop following this presentation and leave this page. Do nothing. Keep going the way you are now. With that crucifying sound following you everywhere and risking serious brain conditions. Keep being frustrated that nothing works. Spend hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on useless therapies. Live with your tinnitus for the following months, maybe even years or decades. It's not going to be pleasant. Option 2, risk nothing at all today. Grab Neuro Calm Protocol right now and you'll be surprised at how well it works. Just click below to make your choice, enter your payment details, place the order now. You'll get instant access to the entire sound therapy program and we'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. I hope to hear your success story soon. Still here? That's fine. This presentation covered so much information that you might have some questions. So, I'll just take a moment to answer a few questions that are usually asked by clients before choosing the Neuro Calm Protocol. Question 1. How does the Neuro Calm Protocol work? Can you explain it again? The Neuro Calm Protocol is a revolutionary 2-step program to terminate tinnitus once and for all. First, the sound therapy techniques inside this program will unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by listening, simply and with no effort on your part. Secondly, the Neuro Calm Pro supplement, which is absolutely crucial to repair your brain networks damaged by tinnitus and calm down your nervous system. Question 2. What am I getting inside the Neuro Calm Sound Therapy Protocol? The techniques inside this program are represented in a simple and easy format for anyone who might want to use them. You'll fill out an initial evaluation questionnaire for tinnitus to gauge severity for an individual recommendation on which sound recordings work best. In the 30-day Kickstart program, you'll receive listening session charts and times, including weekly report forms for tracking your progress. You'll get a categorized list of all the sound therapy sessions based on what part of the brain they work on, with technical breakdowns for how the sounds have been altered or enhanced for maximum potency. Lastly, you'll receive a general FAQ list for tinnitus and how it disrupts the ear canals, as well as known causes for the disease and suspected culprits, plus a general how-to section to help you protect your hearing. Combined all together, the techniques inside this program unplug your brain from its internal loudspeakers just by listening, simply and with no effort on your part. Question 3. How does the Neuro Calm Pro supplement work? Scientists discovered that tinnitus goes way beyond just the annoying, nonstop ear ringing. In fact, tinnitus is just a signal of brain networks getting destroyed. Unfortunately, memory loss, dementia, and so many other memory disorders start with the failure of brain networks. To put it simply, your brain is a ticking time bomb and tinnitus is the emergency alert. Now the supplement works in the following way. Step 1. Your hearing begins to clear as the brain networks are getting repaired and the nervous system calmed down. The buzzing brain networks are quickly fixed and the intensity of tinnitus sounds are lowered in the first few days. Step 2. You regain your quiet mind while your brain networks are strengthening and becoming indestructible. Tinnitus is attacked out by the incredibly strong brain connections. Step 3. You feel your memory stronger than ever while your damaged brain cells are quickly being repaired. Wiping out years of brain deterioration resulted from the broken networks. Step 4. You feel your brain supercharged while cell regeneration begins. The tinnitus brain that made you a vegetable is now being rejuvenated. You think faster, better, clearer. It's like your brain is on steroids. Step 5. Not worrying anymore about tinnitus and brain disorders because your brain is being trained for perfect health. Your brain is cleaned of toxins and plaque. Your neural connections are multiplying while a shield against tinnitus and memory loss is being created. Question 4. Can I take Neuro Calm Pro even if I have allergies or if I currently use other supplements? We created this amazing anti-tinnitus weapon so that it has no damaging effect on people who have various allergies, as the quantities of the ingredients inside are selected to be below the allergy triggering levels. But we recommend that if you have any known allergies to one of the mentioned pill ingredients, you do not take this supplement. For more details, please check the disclaimer link at the bottom of this page. Question 5. Haven't I heard of this protocol before? Well, as I explained during the presentation, the tinnitus and memory loss drug industry is a $25 billion a year industry business. But what the general public is unaware of is that the drug industry literally spends millions and millions of dollars each year to ensure that academic medicine focuses only on the drugs that make the industry money, and not on the drugs that will actually help people get better. Question 6. Is this program for everyone? Yes, it could work successfully and safely for people of any age. The sound therapy techniques are non-invasive, relaxing, and retrain your brain to quickly and effortlessly silence tinnitus, giving your ears and mind the relief to achieve anything you want while feeling amazing in the process. At the same time, Neuro Calm Pro is safe for people of any age, non-invasive, and risk-free. It works by helping your damaged brain networks to quickly and effortlessly fight tinnitus, giving your mind the relief to achieve anything you want while feeling amazing in the process. This program has also proved to be successful for people with early onset of memory loss. This is not unusual since Neuro Calm Pro was designed to also rejuvenate brain cells. As I told you before, tinnitus is just an emergency alert that announces something wrong deep in your brain. Dealing with the root cause of tinnitus means dealing with any existing brain damage. Question 7. What happens once I click one of the options below? Once you click one of the options below, you'll go to our 100% secure checkout page. You just enter your payment information and place the order. You'll get instant access to every part of the Neuro Calm Protocol sound therapy, which you can download, listen to, and even print as many times as you need. As for the Neuro Calm Pro, we'll immediately ship your supplement straight to your home, which should arrive in just a couple of days. It's that easy. Question 8. How long does it really take to see results? As I've told you, and I'm very proud to repeat this, you'll see the results amazingly fast. As soon as you begin the sound therapy program, the battle against tinnitus is half won. In no time, your tinnitus will become less and less intense until it eventually surrenders to silence. This, coupled with the Neuro Calm Pro supplement, will ensure that your brain network damage will be repaired and your nervous system will calm down. Question 9. What are the terms of the guarantee that you've mentioned? Because I want you to feel completely confident in your investment today, I'm providing you with a 60-day money-back guarantee. Simply click one of the buttons below and try the program out for yourself for the next 60 days. If you don't get the results I promised in the shortest amount of time possible, or you're unsatisfied for any reason, simply send an email to us in the members area and I'll give you your money back, no questions asked. It should be clear that if I thought this wasn't going to work, there's no way I would make such an offer. But I do know this will work. A total of more than 47,000 people have already proven it. Question 10. How long will this program be available for the public? Well, I'm not really sure, but history has shown us that Big Pharma is not afraid to spend millions of dollars in legal fees to remove something that threatens its very existence. If you think about it, that makes sense. Wouldn't you spend $1 million in lawyer costs to protect the $25 billion per year you make? In other words, if you are truly serious about fighting your tinnitus and protecting your brain against memory disorders in the following days, you need to take action immediately. Question 11. How do I get the Neuro Calm protocol? This one is easy. Simply choose your package by clicking on one of the options below and try out the entire program for yourself for 60 days with absolutely no risk. If you are unhappy for any reason, you'll be given a prompt refund, no questions asked. That being said, I am supremely confident you won't be asking for a refund because this program has been proven to be effective for anyone suffering from tinnitus, even if they've had it for 10 or 20 years. So click below, fill in your payment details, and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.